Welcome everybody to our summer edition of Book Buzz. I am Lisa Ragano, one of the librarians here at the library, and this is my colleague
Giovanna Iannace at the Harrison Public Library.
So today I'm going to start off, and we're each going to be talking about two books. And I'm going to start off with a nonfiction title, and then I'm going to give you a fiction title. So for the nonfiction, it's a really interesting book called Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. A Therapist, Her Therapist, and Our Lives Revealed by Lori Gottlieb. Now this book came out in April, and it's been an instant overnight success. A New York Times bestseller. Oprah Magazine has it as one of their best nonfiction of 2019. People Magazine has it as Book of the Week. And there's talk that it's going to be made into a television series starring Eva Longoria on ABC. So the author, Lori Gottlieb, is a psychotherapist and a national advice columnist. And she's written this book to give people perspective on what it's like behind the scenes on both sides of the couch, so to speak. So it's like you're getting a perspective on what it's like being the therapist and what it's like being the patient. And it's what she does is Lori talks about herself going into counseling, because therapists have to get counseling. And she also gives information about 4 of her patients, stories about her patients. It's very interesting. It's not dry at all. It's actually hilarious. It's very witty. Very relatable. It's really what it's like to be human, and you see yourself in these four of her patients. You see like the different quirks and the different hang-ups and all that. So it's quite an entertaining read. So if you are interested in this book, maybe you should talk to someone. There are a good amount of holds on it at the library, reserves, so you might want to make a reserve on that. But I would highly recommend it. It was very, very, very good. My second book is by the author Riley Sager. He reinterprets old, iconic movies and novels, and he modernizes them. So he kind of reinvents them. So, for example, his first book came out last January in 2018, and it was called Final Girls. And that book was an homage to Gone Girl. And then last summer, he wrote The Last Time I Lied. And that was inspired by the classic mystery called Picnic at Hanging Rock. That came out, was written in the 60s, I'm sorry. Then they made it into a movie, and then Amazon remade it, this Picnic at Hanging Rock. So now his latest is coming out in a few weeks, and it's called Lock Every Door. And it's for fans of Ira Levin's Rosemary's Baby, one of which I am a huge fan of. I have watched that movie several times. If you remember Rosemary's Baby, it was a diabolical plot against a woman who lived in this big old stately apartment building in Manhattan. So in this plot, in Lock Every Door, there's a young girl, about 25, and she gets a job apartment sitting in another one of those stately old homes in Manhattan. And she's living there for 3 months, and she slowly starts to uncover the past in this apartment building, and its sordid past, and what was going on there. And it's really creepy, and it's really fun. So the libraries are just acquiring it now, so you can't place a hold on it yet, but in a few weeks you will be able to, and I highly suggest you do it because it's a great beach read.
Okay. And it comes out in July.
Comes out in early July. Yeah, really fun.
All right, so I guess do it, read it with the lights on maybe.
Yeah, it's that kind of book.
All right, so I'm going to start off with my first pick, which is The Peacock Emporium by Jojo Moyes, and it was written in 2004. So many of you probably know Jojo Moyes from her big hit, the bestseller Me Before You.
Yes.
And that was also turned into a movie, so big phenomena. Well, this one is a book that she wrote maybe 9 years prior to that one, but I found it very entertaining just the same. I think some of the reviews have been mixed, but I found it to be a quick, fast-paced read. Would be a good beach read as well. Takes place in England for the most part. There are a few scenes in Buenos Aires, and it traces the lives of the family, Fairley Hume family, for about a 50-year period. Central to the story is the main character, Susanna Peacock. Thus, the Peacock Emporium is her store, and she's struggling with her glamorous mother's legacy. So the only place she finds comfort is in her shop, which is sort of like a coffee shop and curio place. She collects oddities and just items that are very different for people to purchase. And the shop becomes a haven for the community. So you have some of the misfits in town sort of congregate there, and she starts to make friends, which is something new for Susanna. So you have Alejandro, who's a male midwife who's escaping his own ghosts from Argentina. Then you have Jessie, who's a free-spirited 25-year-old woman who has a young daughter. You have Arturo, who's a next-door grocery owner. You have Father Lenny, who's like the religious presence, sort of like some of the humorous comic relief presence in the town. And Mrs. Creek, who's the friendly gossip. Just a few of the people that frequent the shop. And then you also have a backstory to Susanna, her biological mother, Althene, I think that's how she pronounces it, Althene Forrester, and her relationship with her father, Douglas Fairley Home. So there's different stories intertwined together. There are many typical themes that you find in Jojo Moyes' books. So you have betrayal, guilt, second chances, mother-daughter relationships throughout the novel, and of course love at the end of it. So the stories, there are multiple stories, multiple characters, but they do intertwine with one another and come full circle at the end of the book. So I actually like that it was nicely tidied up, if you would like to say, but it within like 350 pages you do get a good overview of the characters, development of the characters. I wanted to read on, I wanted to find out what happened, and some of what you think was the backstory wasn't the backstory, and there were times that I cried. I really cried, just things that I wasn't expecting. So to me, that it left an impression, so I would recommend the Peacock Emporium. My second book is a psychological thriller, The Silent Patient, by Alex Michaelides, and it's become well known, I guess, for lovers of suspense books. It's been described as a mix of Hitchcock, Agatha Christie, and Greek tragedy. So we have the main character, Alicia Berenson, who's an artist. She's a famous painter, and she's married to a successful photographer. She lives in this beautiful home in one of London's most desirable areas. So one night her husband Gabriel returns late from a fashion shoot, and Alicia, his wife, shoots him 5 times in the face. And then never speaks again. Thus, The Silent Patient. It almost sounds like a spoof, but it's really not. This is the story. Like she becomes, mute by choice. She refuses to talk. She doesn't give any explanation. So, of course, we all want to know what happened. How did she get to this point? So you have this domestic tragedy and then this mystery that builds because it's a sensational story. And people sort of, now her artwork is skyrocketing. But now she's also has this notorious life. She's hidden from the tabloids and from the photographers and the journalists. She's at a secure forensic unit in North London called The Grove. So here's that setting, and then you have Theo Faber, who's a criminal psychotherapist who has been wanting to work with Alicia for a long time. So now he has this opportunity, and he's determined to get her to talk, to really find out what happened the night that the husband was shot. So while he's doing this, we follow this very strange path, a lot of twists and turns, and find out about his own motivations and how his search for the truth will threaten to destroy them all. And I must say, I think you read this one as well,
Yes,
right?
I have.
A lot of twists and turns, and
Yeah.
you are really left guessing till the very end,
Yes.
even though as the mystery unravels. And
That's the fun of it,
that's
though.
the fun of it. And it did keep me guessing up to a certain point, and then things started to fall into place. So, another good beach read. So
Okay,
that's
good. Two good recommendations. Now you got 4 altogether, and we hope you folks will read a few of them.
And if you care to do so, let us know what you think. Maybe we recommended a book and you absolutely hated it. Let us know. Just curious to know. And also, if there's a book that you absolutely loved and you'd like for us to read it or discuss it, let us know as well. I think
We'd
that
love
would
to
be
hear
fun.
from you. Yes.